How's it going? So not long ago, Blender released the curve to tube node in geometry nodes, and it made turning curves into geometry way easier. It's just a massive group node with a lot of functionality. But today I want to talk about the UV attribute that comes with it and how useful it is. Today in this tutorial, we're going to be making this animation, and believe it or not, this is made out of curves. So I'm going to show you how to create an evenly spaced circle of curves. We're going to add some geometry to them. And then I'm going to show you how to use the UV attribute in the shading to map a wave texture and make a really cool, simple 2D background. My Patreon has a ton of new motion graphics focused animations on there. If you want to check that out and you want to learn more about motion graphics in Blender, my Patreon is entirely dedicated to MoGraph. So if you want to check that out, all the exclusive content. This month, I released this tutorial. It's really cool. Uses curves, uses this trick, and these two tutorials, which gives you a creative way to use the compositor. So there's a lot of cool stuff on there every month. You can check that out linked in the description. And with that being said, let's get into this tutorial. All right, so the first challenge is creating evenly spaced curves, instancing them outward. So let's first build that. It's just a quick little trick. So we'll hit Shift A, we'll get a plane, just some piece of geometry. I'm gonna head to geometry nodes and we're gonna click new. Let's delete the input and let's get a repeat zone. This is gonna create our array. So plug geometry right into here. Let's go ahead and get a join geometry. And let's get a math node set to multiply. So plug him here and switch to multiply. And we're going to plug our iterations into the value. And then let's get a curve circle. Curve circle. And we're going to plug the value into the radius. So this is what really is going to fix this problem where when you instance them outward, they become more and more separated. We want to keep each instance the same amount of distance as we instance them outward. Though I don't think we're instancing in the repeat zone, but I feel like we do. Don't have the technicals on that. We'll plug this right into the join geometry, and then we'll start to instance this outward, and now we have some circles. I'm going to put my resolution here at 84. Maybe unnecessary, but it does make it perfectly smooth. I'm going to give myself 10 instances, and on the multiply, I'm going to do 0.05. We are going to be working off of a little bit of the information we learned in the video that I posted right before this about getting a wave texture to be evenly spaced on some things, but that will be later. But keeping this number as an integer, I think it's an integer, it's going to help you a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some geometry. So we're going to get the curve to tube. So if you search up tube, you'll get a curve to tube node. And right now it is giving us tubes, which is great and is definitely usable for some really cool ideas. But in this case, I actually just want it to be flat geometry. And with these current settings, I can't do that as far as I know. But there is a custom profile setting, and you can use an object to create that custom profile. So if you go ahead here to the curves and just grab a path, just a straight path, it's going to say, oh, instead of using a circle as creating tubes, if this is flat, then it's going to keep the geometry flat. So if I click back here and I grab my NURBS path, it is now going to get these guys to be perfectly flat. And if you click on the path, hit edit, go to edit mode by hitting tab, you can hit S and scale these up. So I'm going to zoom really far in, maybe even go to the wireframe view and just bring these guys in. And look how clean that geometry is. So this is a super useful technique. Looks like we need a little bit more. Perfect. Okay. Now we have this whole situation that we can start to use a really cool trick. Now, the UV map is right here, right where it says UV map. What I'll do is I'll just click Control C and I'll copy that. That's all we'll need. And then I am going to add in one more attribute so that we can have some fun with the wave texture. So if I search up a store named attribute, I want it to add the attributes to all the splines because we have splines here. And then I'm going to get a random value node, and I'll make the minimum -1. But really, it's just creating randomness. You don't have to touch it at all if you don't want to. Plug that in the value, and we'll name it R for random. But again, the most important attribute that I want us to focus on is right here, this UV map. So again, I'm just going to copy that. Let's go ahead and search up a set material. Right over here in the material settings, I'm going to go get a new and switch this over to emission. So if I were to look at this in the material preview, we'll get an emission. and it's going to now be an emissive piece of geometry. So now we can head into shading. We have all the attributes that we need. I'm gonna hit the tilde key. It's right above the tab key. I'm gonna go to the top, hit Shift A and get a camera. I'm gonna hit 0, G and middle click, and just fit the camera to the circle, just like that. So I'm gonna click on the geometry. We have now this emission. Looks really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and get a color ramp, plug that into the color. I'm gonna get a wave texture, plug color into the color ramp, and you can see this, it does not know that we're dealing with multiple different curves that have geometry. It's just applying this to it like it's a piece of just regular geometry. So we need to get a attribute node and paste in the UV map that it's titled, and we'll plug the vector into the vector, and now we have something awesome. Now I mentioned a video that I uploaded one before this one where I'm talking about how to get wave textures to be seamless. In instances like this, you can really mess up the wave texture. See that right here? If I were to play with the phase offset, it really kind of breaks this effect. If you bring your scale to 1, you're going to keep it. Now you just need multiples of pi if that makes any sense at all. So I'll do like 0.4, doesn't work. 0.3 doesn't work. 0.1 doesn't work. But 1 is also going to be seamless. I'll just keep it at 1, and that is going to fix it. Again, resort to the video that I uploaded right before this one in my channel, and the comments will really help you understand the mapping. But for me, if you copied all my settings, a value of 1 is going to look like this. Now, it's kind of animating really weird. One thing I don't like is how this kind of lines up right here. I'm going to switch from sine right over here on the wave texture to saw. You can really see how it kind of lines up. Now that is kind of a cool look, I will be honest. It's a cool little modern design, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get another attribute node, and we're gonna get that random. So remember, I created an attribute, told it to recognize the splines, and added a random value. So if I go R, and I plug factor into phase offset, we're gonna get some randomness here, that if I get a math node set to multiply add, the multiply is going to do that, and now we can animate this around, and it doesn't line up there in the beginning like it did original. It just looks like random curves, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to play around with this until it looks random enough. That looks pretty good. So just go ahead and figure out where you want it to be. I really like this. I'm going to bring my color ramp to B spline and then bring this in so it's a little bit more contrasted. I'm going to go here, switch over to Eevee, go here to the render view and bring my world brightness down to black. If I were to render a frame here, it'll look like that. Looks super nice. Now we have this randomness attribute, and that's going to allow us to actually randomly color this. So if I just go ahead and get a mix color node, and I plug this color ramp into the factor and make A black, it's going to bring everything back. But now we can go ahead and play with some color through the B, but we don't have to stick to one single color. Because if I take this randomness attribute and I just plug it straight into B, and I get a color ramp, and I plug it into that, you can see how it's creating an effect. It's getting some randomness. It's assigning a random value to every single one of these objects. So that means if I bring this in like this, and I switch this to like a blue, and I switch this to like kind of a khaki color, you get something really nice. Now, if you don't like the particular, we'll call it a seed, you can actually get a noise texture and randomize the seed. I'm just gonna bring up the scale a little bit. I'm gonna bring this color ramp to constant so none of these colors are fading. And then you can kind of play around with it. I'm gonna bring my detail and roughness up and then just play around with this until we get a good distribution of color here. Oh, that's good. Okay, cool. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and copy my original colors. You can go ahead and get any color that you want for your scene. Sweet, I like this. And then again, this multiply add is going to control your animation. So a few things I want to do to add some style to this. I'm going to go ahead and render an image. It's Eevee, so it should render really fast. We're going to head to the compositor. I'm going to click new. And first thing I'm going to do is add, first I'm going to go to the view and kind of zoom it in a little bit. Right down here, you're going to see a sensor noise node. plug that in and bring the chroma noise down, make it animated and bring that up. So now we're adding some texture into this. Let's go ahead and get a glare node, set this to bloom, and then I need to go back to shading really quick because the emission strength is at 1. I'm going to bring that up to like maybe 2. Head back to the compositing, and then I'm going to go ahead and render an image. There we go. So now this bloom is working. I want to bring the size of the bloom down till you can kind of see it just kind of creep out a little bit. So see that? I just bring it up. Maybe bring it up a little bit more. So that is going to help some of these colors blend together, and it makes it feel a little bit more organic and interesting. So if I head back to the shading tab, and right up here, I hit this drop down and click to always. Now we have, where's my wave? There we go. Now we have everything figured out. Now all we need to do is animate this. So I'm going to bring up a timeline. Go here to the timeline. I'm going to give myself 80, actually maybe 50 frames. This is a really, really quick animation. I'm going to go back to frame 0 and then make sure, go to Edit, Preferences. Your default animation interpolation is linear. So right there. So right here on the addend, that's what we're going to animate. So we need to animate one rotation. That's going to be pi. So I'm going to hit I at frame 0, go here, and then do -2 * pi, enter, and then add a keyframe. And there we go. We're all done. Hopefully you can't hear that car revving outside. But that is our full animation. Get my compositing effects here. There we go. We're totally done. Pretty classic style, very After Effects looking. I could have even added this to like using Blender like After Effects series. But it's curves, believe it or not, and it's a really, really fun trick, and you can use it on a bunch of different things. But if you want to go ahead and render this out, I'm going to go here. I'm going to keep it at 1080p. Pick your file, render animation, and when you're done, you'll have something really cool like mine. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of this. Not like the newest feature, certainly not an old feature, and I just wanted to have a whole dedicated video about how to use it. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully maybe it was new and you got something out of it, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.